Hey you all, I'm so happy to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. My name is Confidence. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful cowl neck dress with an overlap ruffle skirt. So if you want to know how to make this, kindly watch this video to the very end. And this tutorial is going to be in two parts. In this particular part, we will be focusing more on the upper part. So this tutorial is for you in case you want to know how to make a cowl neck that drapes so well and the one that fits properly on the body. So if you only know how to make a cowl neck dress that is loose fitted, then this tutorial is for you because I'll show you how to make this to fit on your body and still drape so well on the neckline.
Hello, you don't even know my name, but I am happy you came by.
So I'll be using this lightweight Duchess fabric and I have about 3 yards here. But to be on the safer side, please use between 3.5 to 4 yards and you will see why in the second part of this video. And you must not also use Duchess, you can use any drapery fabric. We have varieties of silk, crepe, satin, chiffon. Just make sure you use the one that is drape friendly or drapery enough. And having said that, let's get to the business of the day. And we'll be doing this on a pattern paper. So get your basic bodies ready. Now measure from your neckline there to your bust point and divide whatever you have there into 3. Okay, depending on how much drape you want, but just start from your neckline there to the bust point and divide whatever value you have there into 2. Come to the shoulder from the neck tip to the shoulder tip and divide what you have there too into 3. Okay, if what you have from your neck depth to the bust point is, you divide it into 4, do the same thing on this shoulder part. Then you're going to be connecting it like this. Okay, you can choose to just connect it straight or just give it a slant curve just like I'm doing here. Let's leave this front like this and go over to the back. The back pattern is ready, but I'll just go ahead and through the dart, the waist dart like so. Go ahead and close your dart like this. Then you can see that the waistline now is no longer straight, so you're going to through that part, and to do that you place the straight part of your curve like this, and you're going to connect from your side seam to the zipper allowance. That way you see that there won't be any shortage on that point. You can decide to sew the dart or you just tape it down just like I'm doing here because I don't want to sew the dart for this particular tutorial. Then you go ahead and continue cutting. So for the neckline, I use 3.5 by 10. Go ahead and do whatever neckline that you want. The designer of this dress actually made it an open back, just that Veekee James customized us, or it was customized for Veekee James. But I'll still be showing you how to go about it in case you want to go for an open back just like this. So after trimming the dart, the next thing you will do is to come up on your center back like this, 1.5. Mark it on the center back line, do the same thing for the zipper allowance. Then you're going to connect it from that point to the side seam line. This is to eliminate any bulge on the center back since this front and back length is the same. Or instead of having the waist dart on the front, use bust dart and then use the value that you use for the bust dart as the difference between the front and back length. Okay, so if you use 2 inches for the bust dart, you're going to minus 2 inches from the back length. If what I just said is confusing, just go ahead and follow the same process you see me do here. Okay, so we'll go back to the front, and what we'll do now is to slash open on this bust point line. You open this line here all the way to the bust point, then you'll be able to close the waist dart. You don't have to sew any dart when you're making a cowl neckline or a cowl neck dress. Go ahead and do it the same way, and this would also add to the fullness of the drape, make it drape so well on the neckline part. Again, go ahead and through the dart, because after closing the waist dart, you see that the half length is no longer straight. Go ahead and make it straight like this. Connect from the side seam to the center front like that, and then you're going to cut out the unwanted parts. I actually added allowance on the pattern like this. After cutting, go ahead and label it 1, 2, 3 in case you're not sewing it the same day so you don't get confused. I'll also go ahead and notch on this shoulder part here just to indicate the upper part. Then you're going to slash the lines that you have there. Just cut it all out because you want the fullness to start on the shoulder. And right after that, the next thing I'll do is to just go ahead and connect the line that I have here from the bust point going to the armhole. And the reason for this is that we don't want to add any fullness to the side bust. We want it to be very close fitted from the bust to the waist. So go ahead and do it the same way, going to the armhole, Then you're going to take a fresh pattern like this and we start spreading. Make sure you have enough space on the upper part especially. Then place it like this on your pattern and then you tape it down. Now measure the distance that you have from the down to the up like this, and I have 3 inches depending on how much pleats you want or how much drape you want, but 3 inches is just okay. Okay, you're going to tape it down too. Again, take the number 3 and measure the 3 inches again. Go to the upper part, the shoulder part, and you're measuring 1.5. That shoulder part is totally optional. You can do anything between 1 inch to 2 inches depending on how full you want it. And if you don't want the pleats to be on the shoulder too, you just want it on the neckline part, then you don't have to slash it all the way out. Just do it the same way we did on that armhole part. You see, we did not cut it all through. So tape it down like so. Then you're going to measure again 3 inches, and on the shoulder part you're going to measure 1.5, and then you take number 2. Place it on that 3 inches on the center front here, and then place it going towards the 1.5 inches you have on the shoulder part. And as you can see, I'm focusing more on the shoulder, making it align on the shoulder more than the center front here. Go ahead and do the same thing. So tape it down, then you do the final part. Measure your 3 inches, 1.5, and then you place the number 1 like so and tape it down. Based on the 3 inches going to the 1.5 you have on the shoulder part. So like I said before, whatever space you have on the shoulder part is totally optional. You can decide to do away with that, not add any space there if you want, or you can do between 1/2 inch to 2 inches. Now come here and connect it straight. If your pattern is straight on the upper part, measure what you have from that point to the neck tip and measure it again to this center part there, just to have a straight line. It's nothing serious, but if you can do it without measuring, just go ahead and have a straight line like this. Now the next thing you will do is to measure from that neck tip. Remember, that's the neckline part. Okay, whatever you want to have here is how low you want the neckline to be, how low or how high you want it. But me, I'll be marking 8 inches because I want it from the shoulder to drop to 8 inches. Go ahead and mark it like this. You can do between 8, you can do between 6 to 10 or even 13 depending on how low you want it on that part. Then you're going to connect it from that 8 inches to meet the white pattern paper we have on the center front here, and then we'll cut it out before we add the facing. Now for the facing, I'll be marking 4 inches upward like this from that straight line you have on the neckline part. Go ahead and add 4 inches to 3 to 5 inches. Actually, you don't have to do too much anyway. Then I'll cut it out like this. After cutting, I'll go ahead and fold it. You see that straight line we have on the neckline part? I'll fold it like this. Fold the facing inward so that I can blend it in with other parts we'll be cutting. The shoulder part and then the center front here. The next thing I'll do now is to go ahead and blend the shoulder part. So you're going to fold like you want to close the dart from one white pattern to the other white like this. You can decide to pin it down, but if you can, just do it all through without taping it down. It's still okay, but I taped it down. Then I'll fold from the other white pattern paper to the other one like this. Then I'll tape it down. Then I'll do the final one. Fold, then you tape it down. Now you're going to take your tracing wheel. In case you don't have a tracing wheel, you can just use your ruler. There's nothing serious about this part, but I'll just use this tracing wheel. Like I said, if you don't have a tracing wheel, go ahead and use your pencil and ruler like this. Connect a straight line. Just have a straight line there because that's the shoulder part. You don't want it curvy or something like that. Then remove the paper tape like this, and then you take your pencil and blend in that line that you have there just to see what you'll be cutting. After that, I'll just go ahead and cut it out exactly on the line that we have there and cut it out on this armhole part. Then we'll transfer the pattern to the fabric. You'll be cutting the front pattern on bias, and to fold the fabric, you have the selvage here and the cross grain on this other side. Take the cross grain to meet the selvedge like this, just to fold it in A shape. Okay, go ahead and arrange it in a way that it's smooth both on the upper part and the down part. Then you're going to take your pattern like this and you place it going to the folded part of this fabric like this. Just try not to waste your fabric. Arrange the fabric very well and then place the pattern, the center front going to the folded part of the fabric, and then you pin it down. After that, we just go ahead and cut it out. Cut ½ inch away on the waistline. We already have our allowance on the side, then ½ inch on the armhole part, on the shoulder part, and then on the neck part. There is no allowance on the neck part, okay? Then you're going to notch this part that you see me doing here. Notch on all the spaces that you have there because you will need it later. After that, we'll keep the front pattern aside and then we'll work on the back. So I folded my fabric. This time around is not unbiased, just the regular way you cut, you fold your fabric, and then you're going to just basically do the same thing we did for the front. We already have our allowance on the side, then every other part we have ½ inch joining allowance. Now you can decide to cut line in two for this back piece, or you just cut facing like this. Okay, the front doesn't have lining, just facing, so we are also going for facing for the back neckline. I went ahead to press a stay on the zipper allowance and also on that facing. This fabric is quite stretchy and I made sure that the stretchy part is going to the side and this part right here is not stretchy. So this AC that I press on the zipper allowance is totally optional since that part is not stretchy. I also press A stay on the facing. I'll be going to the neckline and you're going to place it like this and then you're going to go ahead and turn the neckline with the facing. It's as simple as that. But I said I will be showing you how to go about the back neckline in case you want to go for a low back like the one we are copying. So place your facing like this, then you're going to take this tiny strip here. It's very tiny. I just cut 0.75 wide, fold it and sew it and turn it with my needle. Yeah, needle. Then I melted one of the tip just to secure that point. And you're going to take it like this. Place you're going to for that low back. You're going to give a space for your shoulder joining and then you're going to place it like this. Just come down like 1.5 or 1 inch and place it like that. Then you're just going to turn the neckline like that to have something like this. I do not even need this strip part because my back neckline is not that deep and it's not even that wide. Like I said, I use just 3.5 as the neck width and then 10 inches for the depth. So it's not that wide and not that deep. But I'm just trying to show you how to go about it. So now you can decide to go ahead and fold this part like this and iron it out, or go ahead and do it the same way that I'm going to show you. So you're going to take your gum, any gum of choice, and then you're going to take your hemming gum. So this is because this hemming gum these days doesn't hold anything. I can't even relate because I've been doing this particular method for a long time. I will first apply a little amount of gum. You don't want to apply it in a way that it will reflect on the right part of your fabric after ironing, just a little. Then you're going to place your hemming gum directly on that spot that you applied the gum. Okay, place your hemming gum like that and then go to your ironing table and steam press. Press it very well to make it very just like this. Can you see that? So I'll be using this method because I see others complain that the hemming gum doesn't hold just as it should, and this method has been saving me. Just make sure it's very close to the edge or you go ahead and weave that part before this step. Okay, now we go to the front. Take the front pattern like this, remove the pins, then you go ahead and weave this edge like this before the next step, but I don't have a weaving machine, so I'll just go ahead and repeat the same thing I did for the back. Fold it like this. Remember the length of the facing is 4 inches. Go ahead and fold it. We actually have a notch there. Go ahead and fold it on that 2 notches like this, and then you're going to do the same thing we did for the back, just to have something as smooth and neat like this. By the time you turn it to the right side, you won't even know that there is a facing there. The next thing I'll do now is to go ahead and do the shoulder part, and to do that you have the notches there. Just take from one notch to the second notch and you're going to pin it down. You can do this on your machine anyway, or you just pin it down before sewing. Then you're going to leave a space there. Take your pattern just to guide you. That's the first pleat, and that's the space that you will leave. The white one is the one that you're going to leave, and then you pleat the brown one. So take from one notch to the second one, and then you leave a space. You leave from that notch to the other notch, and then you take from the next notch that you see and pin it down. Don't worry, I don't even have to say too much about this because what you have there would guide you. Okay, go ahead and do it like that and pin it down. Now the next thing you're going to do is to take the back pattern and measure the shoulder like this, and also measure the front to make sure that you have the same thing. If it's not the same, then you're going to pleat more, but if it's smaller, then you're going to reduce the pleat that you have there. But if you follow the notches that you have on the shoulder, trust me, it's going to just be the same with the back shoulder. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing for this other side, and then I'll go to my sewing machine and stitch it down. And right after that, this is what I have. Can you see that? And you see that the neckline is already coming out so well. Can you see that? We can't wait to finish this. Now take the back piece like this, and then you're going to join it on the shoulder. Okay, if you match up the shoulder and you see that the front is excess, instead of cutting it out, go ahead and, like I said before, pleat it the more. Okay, increase one of the pleats, just make sure that it's the same with the back shoulder. And right after joining it on the shoulder, this is what I have. I also ironed it on the shoulder. Press open the shoulder seam just to make it flat on that point. I don't want it bulky. Now this next step is for someone who wants to add sleeve, because if you can see the front armhole, it's kind of being excess around the midpoint of the armhole. So you're going to trim it off like this, so that after joining your sleeve, it will give you what it should give. But if you don't want to add sleeve, the one we are copying doesn't have sleeve, just go ahead and leave it at that point, just so it gives you the same thing like what you ordered. But I want to add just a little cup or cap sleeve like you see in the beginning of this video, because I want to make this something I can wear, not just for this tutorial purpose, but like I said, if you want exactly what is on the thumbnail, you don't have to do this. Go ahead and just fold that armhole part. And if you're not adding sleeve, just go ahead and increase the facing of the front, let it exceed the armhole part so that it will give it that neat effect, and also add lining to the back. And at this point, you just go ahead and join the side with your measurement, then you proceed to the down part. But baby girl will be going for this very tiny cap sleeve. So go ahead and arrange your sleeve, whatever sleeve you're going for, and then you're going to sew it on this armhole part. Okay, since this is a cap sleeve, I already notch where it will be stopping, and it will have just very tiny amount of pleats on the shoulder part. And after joining the sleeve, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and finish up this remaining part of the armhole, just fold it very tiny like this, and that's it. And while closing the side with some measurements, -1 inch from your bust circumference, just to give it that close fit. And you see that I left a space on the waist part that I'll be joining the down part to. Do well to stay tuned for the concluding part. I'll see you next. Bye for now.